Buff Nation, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. Sincere Brown, 6'5", wide receiver from the FCS Campbell Tigers, has been offered. Big time transfer portal wide receiver, a little bit older, but we'll dive in to a little bit about him, take a look at some of his tape, specifically against Liberty that I've been able to find on Twitter. Shout out to Russ and you guys in the comments yesterday with our show last night made me aware of this offer, which I think is pretty interesting. He's definitely getting a ton of big time offers. So we'll get a first look at him. Y'all let me know your thoughts. How do you feel like he would fit in with the rest of the wide receivers that we got? You think we're going to get him? You think we got a good shot at getting him? We'll have to see. But yeah, y'all go ahead, smash that like, subscribe, join the chat along with Lady C and Jones23. Thank you guys so much. But let's go ahead and get into it. So if you are wondering a little bit about who is this guy, Sincere Brown, there's his face right there, if you're looking for his face. This is also brought to you by Guru Film Room. I mean, this isn't his film, but it's the largest film database for any all-22 college film. Links in the description. But hey, Sincere Brown, 6'5", 190 pounds. And this dude had like no stats. Originally, he was at USF and then transferred down to Campbell. Because you see here, I mean, just had one reception in 2020, no receptions in 2021, none in 2022. I don't know what happened in 2023, but in 2024, absolutely broke out. 61 receptions, 1,028 yards, almost 17 yards per reception, 12 touchdowns, and a long of 74. Quite impressive. Definitely impressive. And then when you look at his game log here, you might say, okay, like he's not playing the best competition or whatnot. Well, first off, hey, if you're getting 1,000 yards at the FCS level, that is something that should raise an eyebrow. You know, maybe you could argue, hey, maybe you could do it going up a level or two, right? So he is a senior. Again, he's been in college football since 2020. So quite a while now. Okay, maybe this hurts his chances at the NFL with like a late breakout, but that has nothing to do with how he can come in and contribute at the college level. So if we got a 6'5", 195-pound wide receiver that wants to come to see you, yes, I'm not going to be picky. Come out here, compete, see what you can do. But this is what I find interesting, guys. This specific stat line here, down at the bottom, first game of the year against Liberty. And this is Liberty, you know, coming off essentially an undefeated season. They lose 41-24. But in this game, Sincere Brown balled out. 5 receptions, 126 yards for a 25.2 average per reception. Had a 74-yard touchdown. That was his long or 74-yard catch and a touchdown. And looking at that stat line, he was somebody that kept them in the game. No doubt about it. And yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look here on Twitter. This is courtesy of B Gavin 22. He has put out some of this tape here on Liberty. Let me go ahead and make my face a little bit smaller. Let's see here. Okay, let's dive into it. So I think this first one is a little bit of a comeback route. It was like kind of like a hitch, but he does a good job of just going to the open space right there. Then this should be a nice little slant route. Nice little release. Good adjustment to the pass. And gets that yak, baby. Hey, look at that. Juke. You know, it's not often you see 6'5", 195-pound wide receivers kind of move like that, right? Hey, a little stop and go. I mean, just a beautiful little setup right there. Catching it with his hands, not body catching it. That's awesome. And then maybe was that his 74-yard catch? I think it might have been. I mean, just awesome. And looks like this is against a different opponent, but you can see here, runs a nice little post route here. And just blown away the competition with his speed. Yeah, some sort of coverage breakdown there. DB did not run with him. Then rolling out, getting deep. Love his run after the catch ability, man. And I would agree with Brian's assessment here. Incredibly fluid for his size. Man, I love it. But okay, so the video that Russ pulled up yesterday, it was like him taking a lot of bubble screens and just running some red zone fade type routes. And so I'd wonder, I was like, man, can this guy run any other kind of routes? With this video that Brian provided, I mean, you can see he can run a handful of different routes, which is great to see. And hey, if you can have a room or specific play package where you're rolling out Omari and Miller, Sincere Brown, Joseph Williams, hey, Terrell Timmons, man, that's going to be a lot of uh, big guys to cover. You're not going to be able to cover all of them, right? So, man, I would love it if he landed with the Buffs. Now, he has gotten like a ton of different offers. We can run through them right now. Take a look right here. Okay, so he's gotten Maryland, Kentucky. He got reoffered from USF. That's hilarious. So he put his old pictures in there. I love to see that. Colorado, Michigan. I saw this one on my timeline. Wake Forest, Arkansas, Texas A&M. Boo. He's saying he's 6'6". Is he 6'5"? Oh no, wait, no, this guy's 6'6". Okay. And that's about it. So a handful of guys you can see. Buffed Prime here says, yeah, he high points the ball. He's got great top end speed, special talent. Remember where you heard it here first. He's also got offers from Louisville, Utah, UNC Chapel Hill, Bill Belichick. That's pretty cool. Cal, West Virginia. So ACC offers, SEC offers, Big 10 offers, Big 12 offers. I mean, the guy's going to be able to go Power 4 to, one of these schools of his choice. A lot of great programs to take a look at and to consider. But hey, Colorado would definitely be one of the more exciting fits. You get to work alongside not only some promising young quarterbacks, Caden Salter being a senior, but also Julian Lewis, and get to work not only with, our GOAT offensive coordinator, Pat Shermer, but hey, get to rub elbows with Marshall Faulk, Warren Sapp, of course, Coach Prime. Jason Phillips will get you right. Jason Phillips is a fantastic wide receiver coach. And now you got Byron Leftwich there as well. So I'm not really sure how much eligibility he has left. That's going to be interesting to note. If he spent a year down at like JUCO or something like that, he'll likely have an extra year, maybe some red shirts, medical red shirts. So he might have 2 years to play. At least that would be my hope. If he's coming to Colorado, we can get him for a couple of years. But seems to be a tremendous athlete. And I'll never say no to that. No, definitely not. We'll run these highlights again and get some of your thoughts on on his game. But nice to see that he can run a handful of different routes, and I think that at least in this tape, you can see that he tracks the ball well, adjusts to targets that aren't perfect. Cool. So, man, I think that's great. All right, get to some of your comments here. Yes, like, subscribe, share, join the chat, all that. Got 116 people in here. This is awesome. Big Reg 409 saying Buffton Prime showed his video, and now this kid is all over the internet. See you. Better get him. Man, it would be quite exciting if we got another big time athlete at the wide receiver position. Yeah, I don't care if he's like 25, whatever. This is college football. You can break out at any age. So I'm down with it. Karume bringing up a wonderful point here. He would know both Zay Weaver and Jimmy Horn as they were at USF at the same time. Interesting. So that might be a connection that would help Colorado, bring him in. Is that you got Xavier Weaver and Jimmy Horn vouching for everything that CU is doing right now, and could be a nice connection. Maybe that led to him getting the offer because he knows these guys. So I think that's a really great connection and point right there. I appreciate that. Aim saying he was OTP with Corey yesterday when LeJante was live on Instagram. Okay. That is big news. That is huge news. Keith saying instant impact player. I would think so. I mean, hey, you just get the ball in his hands, he can run away from all these guys. Let's see if we got any more like all 22 tape of this guy. I don't want to get a little copyright strike. That's not. Yeah, he's just tremendous, man. After the catch, we can just run his little highlight tape that he put out here. Did anyone watch the Big 12 Pro Day this week? I've watched a little bit of it. I think it's still going on, right? We had Herman Smith. It looked like he was flying, what I saw on Twitter, but I don't see any of these times reported anywhere. That is my biggest gripe right now with the Big 12 Pro Day. You got to have these results live, and you got to start um, just spamming them all over the internet. Big 12. Come on now. Come on now. On a side note, I'll probably do some other videos on this, but there's some other guys that have been I think surprising so far throughout spring ball. Quentin Gibson, man, looks just as quick as you would expect. Number 15, I believe. I've seen some plays on Well Off where they're running like little bubble screens or flat routes to him, but man, his acceleration is just instantly quick. I did a video on Quanell Farrakhan, how he was looking very, very good so far. Love to see that Quentin Gibson is right up there. Now, some people were making um, a big deal about Joseph Williams not running with the ones at certain points, whatever. Guys, the wide receiver group, there's going to be a lot of great competition there, no doubt about it. But where guys are starting out in week 1 or 2, it's just going to be different than where things are come week 1. I'm pretty confident that Joseph Williams is going to be one of the most receivers involved right now with the Buffs. But hey, that's just my prediction. I think he'll get it together. I ain't worried about that. What I hate to see is people already saying, "Man, I'm scared this guy's going to transfer out." Man, I mean, we stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Um, I just get. Are y'all ever happy? Can y'all just ever be content? I think it's just so goofy. Another guy that I think has been pretty interesting, you guys have brought this up in the comments as well, has been Zach Flapjack Owens, transfer from Clemson a year ago, was like 350 pounds. I think he's looking real nice. I think we've seen him both at offensive tackle and at guard, and dude is just moving better. Dude is just moving better. I believe offhand he's number 75. So be on the lookout for him. That's what you want to see with some of these guys that needed a little bit of work coming into the program. They might have been a year or two away from when they were entering college football from high school. And that was the case with Zach Owens. I think he's looking a lot better, much more well conditioned, agile, probably more at that size to, you know, uh, or that weight ratio that you want him to be at to where he can maximize agility, speed, strength, kind of all that. That would be a wonderful surprise if we can get some development out of those guys that were or that have been a little bit more raw, like Zach Owens, to where they can provide not only quality depth on the offensive line, but imagine if they're developing to the point where they're making a case to be a starter on the offensive line. I think that that would just be tremendous, and that's going to be something to watch. Mana Taimani, for a transfer from Ole Miss. I thought that he's looked pretty good at the right tackle position right now. And yeah, hopefully Philip Houston can get back. We'll see him on the field. But Zach Owens is another guy that, yeah, I think he's worth, keeping your eye on throughout spring camp. Yeah, it's on NFL Network. Exactly, Keith. But it's like, man, I go to the Big 12 website, they're not even posting the results of stuff. I don't want to have to just go watch TV all day just to see like what these guys' times were. Nah, man. Like this needs to be posted instantly on Twitter. Now, I did watch a little bit of it yesterday. Again, BJ Green, man, absolutely flew. Really happy for him running a 4.7. Maybe he ends up here with the Broncos. Wouldn't that be a lot of fun? Stay in Colorado. Hey, Northside, who is this player? 6'5" wide receiver coming from Campbell, not a JUCO guy. FCS level. He had like 125 yards on 5 receptions against Liberty this past year. So going up against a G5 opponent, big talent discrepancy normally when you're going up from or disparity when you're going up from FCS to G5, unless you're like North Dakota State or something like that. Performed really well, had a touchdown, a 74-yard reception. And what we saw there is like he's not just a go ball, a lob guy, screen ball type of player. He can run some other routes too. You saw him run some slants, some posts, and I think he adjusts to the ball really, really well. So I think he's got some great qualities. He's a little bit older, obviously, being in college football since 2020, originally starting out at USF. He might have spent some time in JUCO. I don't know. It's just weird to see zeros on his stat sheet when you see like what kind of athlete he is, right? So I don't know. I'll have to do some more digging there, but I think it would be cool if we brought him in. No doubt about it. Musa Keita. I'm going to be a buff in the next 2 years. Well, heck yeah. What position do you play? Statesman, 15. He's a dog. He's 6'5". He's 6'5", 190 pounds, 200 pounds. That's what I'm talking about. His speed from when he just catches the ball to his acceleration kind of reminds me of the late, great Demaryius Thomas, baby. Hey, D Nice, what's going on? Yo, Dave, thanks for talking buffs. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry I slowed down a little bit in the off season, but I try and get on here and talk about things like when I'm excited about certain topics. I'm not just going to spam you with content I don't really care about. But yeah, this is one that's pretty exciting, and hopefully, Buff Nation, we can garner enough energy to really spam this guy on the internets to where, man, he really considers Colorado. It's one of those top schools that could fit what he wants. Schools are going to throw a bag at him. Yeah, an athlete like that, no doubt about it. Now, we'll see if he has extra eligibility. But, man, even if we're just getting him for a year, that'd be tremendous. D-Nice, this dude has the same build as Chris Henry Jr., but with actual college experience. We need him. Yeah. And you always need guys that are physical freaks like this. I mean, you can never have too many. No, especially with football being as physical as it is. You got injuries, guys getting banged up. You just want to have that next guy ready to roll. And, we talked about this in the winter transfer portal period, how it would be nice. It would be really, really nice to still add one more veteran wide receiver. We have a very young core, wide receiver core, no doubt about it. It would be great to get an older veteran in the room. Now, I think we were all kind of thinking, hey, maybe a veteran that's been playing at the Power 4 level, he's a little bit different, but you can't be super picky at this point in the transfer portal. But when an athlete like this jumps in, hey, that should raise an eyebrow. That should come to your attention. And I do like the fact that, yeah, he would be an older guy in this receiver room. I think Terrell Timmons might be um, the oldest guy we got in the room right now that's on scholarship. But man, I can't wait to see the run that we make at Chris Henry. That's going to be fun to watch. Northside, thank you for bringing up Kareem Harden. Yes, I think I talked about him a little bit last week, but I still think he's looking good. I love the fact that we've seen him mainly, I think, over at left guard. That's where he should be playing next to Jordan Seaton and Cash Cleveland. Now, some of y'all are saying that, hey, Cash is not going to be the starting center by the time fall camp concludes. We'll have to see. Man, why am I forgetting the name of the guy that we brought in from Louisiana Tech? Why am I blanking on his name? But it could be that guy. It could be that guy, but I still think he's running with the twos. We'll have to see how that goes. Another guy who I think has looked pretty good, Chauncey Gooden, man. He already has that college body. No doubt about it. I think he's number 51. I want to say he's 51 offhand. So keep your eye on him when you're watching Reach the People, Well Off Media, all that. Yeah, man. And Jordan Seaton, I think, has been a tremendous leader in the locker room. And I mean, this is really kind of his team. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, Zach sees the success of Seaton. That's got to be motivating him. Yeah, no doubt about it. When you got an elite guy like that in not only your locker room, but at your position group, I think it raises just the level of expectation and play for everybody. Exactly. I'm trying to see what Herman Smith ran to. Seemed like he was flying, but no times. Do you have to be watching the broadcast live? If so, that's lame. Now, 64. I'm rooting for 64 as the backup to Seaton. He's long. Is that the guy with the account on the back of his jersey, Vert JC? Because I've been trying to figure out who the heck that guy is. And thankfully, my friend Havoc on Discord, let me pull this up, I believe has told me who he is. Vertus Shelby, walk on. Let's take a look at him. See if we can find a little profile on him. And people are saying they've also been impressed with Jay Gardenhire. Vertus Shelby. Oh, yeah, walk-on freshman from Chicago, Illinois. 6'8", 295. So maybe he's a redshirt freshman now because this is last year. Maybe he switched numbers. Because I think he's 64 right now. They don't have the 2025 roster out yet. But yeah, 6'8", 295. Redshirted this past year. Yeah, keep an eye on him. Yeah, if anybody knows whose name or whose number Jay Gardenhire is, please let me know. We'll search for him. See what we can find here. Yeah, they don't have a number for him yet. But yeah, from West Bloomfield by way of Maplewood, New Jersey. Went to the same high school this past year as Brandon Davis Swain. Another 6'8" guy, 330. But I've seen people saying how they've liked how he's looked as well. D Nice, how are you feeling about right tackle so far? I think fairly good. You know, we only get to see a small portion of the action, but you know, I've liked what I've seen. I feel like Mana Taimani has moved pretty well. I mean, you're seeing him block guys up that are fast and quick and twitchy, like Taj McCoy. So the fact that he's sticking with those guys, I think, is nice. Now, again, you wonder why he hasn't been able to play then at some of these other schools. Maybe it's just the depth of talent that's been at like places like Ole Miss. I don't know. Thank you guys so much. Jay Gardenhire is number 71. So keep an eye out on him. Oh, yeah. And I guess that's the jersey number he took a photo in right there. J71, keep an eye on him, man. I think a handful of these positions are up. Now, speaking of the offensive line as well, a guy who I think has totally looked the part has been Zy Chrysler, number 72, if I remember correctly, transfer from Illinois. This guy was an honorable mention, I think, in the Big Ten at offensive line for at least a couple of seasons. And yeah, he definitely looks the part at right guard. I think him, Jordan Seaton, those are going to be the two penciled in starters on the offensive line. We'll see how left guard, center, and right tackle shakes out. It would still be nice to add some more talent in that room. But I think, yeah, when you got 3 offensive line coaches, you better see improvement. So I feel like we are seeing that. So we'll see what happens. I'm Alex. David, I keep calling. Well, my phone's on do not disturb. My phone is on do not disturb, man. I'm working, not twerking. Yeah, you called me 2 minutes ago. You called me 2 minutes ago. All right, guys. I guess that's my cue to get out of here, though. I hope you all have a wonderful day. If we get some more interesting news on the Buffs, I'll be back. But man, I can't wait to see how this offensive line continues to develop and to look as time goes on. And hey, we'll have to see how this quarterback competition shakes out. Seems like people are very, very impressed with Julian Lewis so far, which is fantastic news. Fantastic news. Zary McGill, thank you. The guy from Louisiana Tech. They're saying, hey, he will be center. So, hey, we'll have to see how that one goes as well. Yeah, Cardi Smith looking a little light. He's going to have to put on some weight. He kind of looks more like Philip Houston size right now. So, we'll have to see. Chauncey came in, man, looking absolutely ready to roll. Could we see him start year 1? Hey, he's got to beat out somebody like Kareem Harden. That's not going to be easy, but yeah, may the best player win. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon, wonderful weekend. I'll be back again soon. Go Buffs.